Mercury retrograde is nearly here. Halloween is nearly here as well. Some people are wearing pointy hats already. All that in a pointy hat. So let's do a pick a card reading, okay? Now the meaning of this reading can be whatever you want it to be. This is the idea. You can kind of be your own psychic with this reading. That's what it's about. So I'm using Tarot in Wonderland, based on the Alice in Wonderland books. It's a real popular deck. Let's turn, well, I won't turn them over yet, but I'll pull out the top three cards here, spill them on the floor, and we will see what we've got. Okay, first of all, let's look at the back of them. Now, are you going to pick 1, 2, or 3? It's entirely up to you. Or you could look at this as a 3-card mini reading. Entirely up to you, okay guys? So let's turn over the first one. Here we go. This is card number 1, and it's the 3 of Swords. Quite a kind of unhappy feeling goes with this card, which is unfortunate because it kind of comes before things get better. Now, if I come up very close, you can see rain in the sky all around the 3 swords stuck in the heart cake there. And okay, maybe 3 swords stuck in your heart. Well, not maybe. I mean, if there's 3 swords stuck in your heart, it's really not good. This card has a lot to do with bereavement, actually. So if you've lost someone close to you, I'm so sorry to hear that. But the only way is up, friends. It really is when you get this card. And the significance of those raindrops is they will wash away the cake, and the 3 swords become you standing firm. Okay, because whatever's going on will certainly not wash you away. Cakes are always a temporary thing. We remember a celebration cake maybe for the rest of our lives, you know, but cakes, they're here today, they're gone tomorrow, they go off, things change, but swords are always there, you know. There are swords in museums from so long ago, nobody knows how old they are. And of course the swords is all about making a decision, you know, maybe making 3 decisions, a sort of multiple decision thing going on here. There's also in numerology the number 3, the fact that we're actually on the move. We're actually, you know, we're not just kind of starting on the journey here. The journey is underway, and even though it's early in the journey, you've learnt something when the 3 of Swords comes up. It's a very, very dark sky, but we only get those dark skies because it's part of a cycle, and the skies will be bright and light again, and we can see some light in the back of the picture here. We've got a lot of blue in this card, as well as a lot of pink. So there's, you know, whatever's gone on in the old heart chakra there, lots of heartache, no doubt, but there's also the blue of speaking your truth and actually living your truth, and that's what needs to shine through in any decisions that you're making. And really, when this card comes up, you've got to decide to leave the past in the past, because the past is old news, and you've got to decide to keep on moving forward, because that's what's for the best. That is what makes all the difference. It really is. And so, you know, the 3 swords, their decisions, they're also you. Make sure the decisions come from you, and make sure you're being honest with yourself and honest with other people as you want to go forward, as you want to start making new things happen. Okay, that's card number 1. Card number 2, because I did take 3 out all at once off the top of the deck there. 7 of Swords, we got a sword card again. It's all about the decision-making process, but we're much further along the line here now. If you're seeing this as a 3-card reading for yourself, then this is the heart of the matter. This is what it's all about. If you chose card number 2, this is the whole business. It really is. Okay, and what we've got here is someone who looks like he is stealing the swords, isn't he, from the people in the tents in the background, no doubt. And there are hills and valleys all over the place in this, and the clouds are not just slanty, they're kind of curved. And whenever you get clouds that aren't in a straight line in tarot, there is always the symbolism going on that everything isn't quite what it seems, and that's very true in the 7 of Swords here. 7 is very magical, very positive number. So why is something negative happening? Well, maybe it's less negative than it looks. That's the key to this, because what's really going on here is, you know, something isn't right, something doesn't seem right, but we need to kind of not just look at the face of the situation. We actually need to think really deeply into the heart of the matter. Particularly if this is the middle card for you and you've got to move on from the 3 of Swords situation. But in any case, whether it's that or whether this is card number 2 that you chose, this guy is actually not necessarily stealing the swords. He could be, he really could be, or is he just taking them and then he's going to kind of go back to the community and say, look, you're not looking after things. I've got some of your swords here. You weren't looking after your swords properly. And the analogy of that, of course, is that you weren't kind of making the most sensible of decisions. And so it's kind of to teach you a lesson, really. Something bad happens to teach us a lesson. And sometimes it's kind of someone being cruel to be kind as well. As that side of it. All of that, but bottom line is the situation you're in isn't everything it seems. Seven of Swords is very, very strongly that. This is a very swordy reading, so I guess as we come towards Mercury retrograde, which is happening 2 days from now as I do this reading. This is the 11th of October 2020 when I'm doing this, and Mercury turns retrograde on the 13th. But Mercury retrograde is a Seven of Swords kind of thing because there's a pre-shadow to it. We're in it now when Mercury is slowing down before turning around and going forwards and picking up speed and going fast forward again. It's a whole cycle, you know, and there's actually a post-shadow at the end of it. And during the pre-shadow and during the post-shadow, we get some of the Mercury retrograde effects. And everything is not what it seems, okay? Several times, and so many times I can't ignore it, my car has absolutely fallen apart during the pre-shadow to Mercury retrograde, and I live miles from anywhere. You know, if the car dies, I can't kind of get food or anything like that. And I've just really been through about a month of the car constantly breaking down and me having to shower money at it as well. God, I've got no money left. And, you know, Mercury hasn't actually gone retrograde yet. So we're in the build up to it now. And everything is not what it seems. Okay, so if you pick this card, think a bit more deeply into a situation where you might have felt very, very wronged. Think, you know, is the person wronging you? Is the person being cruel to be kind? Or, you know, is the person being cruel to be cruel? But the universe is maybe showing you somewhere where you need to be a bit more vigilant, take a bit more care, and make your decisions in a more rational kind of a way. It's easy to make decisions kind of off the cuff when things are going wrong, when things aren't working out. So that's card number 1. The 3 of Swords. Card number 2, the 7 of Swords. What is card number 3? Will it be another sword card? No, it's the 9 of Cups. Now, this is really happy card, this one, okay? The old tradition of fortune telling had this card as the wish card, and it's really good to make a wish when this card comes up. Loads of magic. We're into cups here, though. We're into longings and desires, and we're into making things real again. Now, it's not instant success with this card. You can see there are no leaves on the trees whatsoever, but again, that's part of that cycle. Things are going to come full circle, and this could be autumn, it could be spring, you never know. We're in autumn now, and as the leaves are falling off the tree in the fall of 2020, they're going to come back in the spring of 2021. I'm really sure of it. Okay, lots of natural craziness is going on with the cycles of the planet at the moment, but we haven't come so far that there isn't going to be a spring next spring. So think of that spring coming up and make a wish. Okay, now the caterpillar in this deck is actually the same character who's there in the Magician card in this deck, and I'm picking up on that quite strongly because as you think about making that wish, friends, you do have the ability to bring your wishes into being. You really do. 9 cups there. Now, there is a possibility of some legal goings on here, but again, you know, if you're in a situation where you're worried about something legalistic that's going on, look out for some positive news, okay? Because the wish card says that you can make the wish and you can manifest what you really want to happen. You can manifest a good outcome, whether that's in a legal situation, a love situation, or whatever it is. If you picked card number 3, then I'm saying that very strongly to you. If you're looking at this as a 3-card reading, then this is a very happy outcome, okay? And it's the sort of outcome where it isn't really an outcome, but it's promising a much better outcome on its way into life. And after we've been through the 3 of Swords, that's really great. Also, after the uncertainty of the 7 of Swords, that's a really positive thing as well. Really powerful thing. So there we go. Let's have a look at them all together. What we got: 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords. I've got them the wrong way round. because the camera's back to front, and why shouldn't it be? 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords, and the 9 of Cups there. So decisions, outcomes, okay? They're all related together, these cards. Even if you just kind of picked 1, 2 or 3, then, you know, do remember that everything that goes on in this universe is somehow interconnected. I'm now going to have a quick shuffle and pull a Moonology Oracle card for a bit more significance to this. Okay, now this is a funny old deck in terms of astrology, because you can quite easily pick a card that's got nothing to do with what the moon is doing at the present time. Okay, but it's the energies of this that really matter. Okay, I'm just going to pick one of these cards as a significator. So whether you picked card 1, card 2, card 3, or all 3 of them, or maybe 2 of the 3, whatever. Let's cut the deck. This is for you. Now, this is New Moon in Aries. That's the energy of this card, and that's what the energy of this reading is all about. Okay, so you think of all the Aries characteristics. Is there an Aries in your life who is somehow crucial to working out the situation that you're in at the moment? If so, well, this is a New Moon card. This is about new beginnings, and the thing about new beginnings is that nothing's really happened when you make the new beginning. Maybe you've made the decision. That's a happening. For sure it is. But it's all about the way forward. Those new beginnings mean that things are kind of empty, but they're coming up to fruition. They're coming up to fullness. So I always advise people when we're at the time of new moon, and we're in the last quarter now, actually, coming up to a new moon, but when we're at the new moon time, nothing is there yet. You need to kind of wait until you can see the moon in the sky, when she's just starting to become visible again. That's when the energy is in, and that is the time for actually putting your plans into action. But this is a great time for making plans, okay? So think about the card or the cards that you chose out of the 3 card reading there. 3 of Cups, 7 of Swords. No, 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords, or 9 of Cups. Whichever or all of those you chose, there's a new beginning going on, and that's what this reading has really been about. Okay, new moon in Aries, so that Aries energy means that whichever you kind of chose and wherever you're actually kind of going in life, and wherever this reading is taking you in your mind, it's going to be ram energy, really ramming through, pushing through, making things happen. And goodness knows you need to do that in the world today. If you kind of sit still and do nothing, waiting for the best, there's not that much chance of things working out, is there, friends? Anyway, that is the 3 card reading for today. I have to keep these readings ever so short because it's going to take like the rest of the day to upload, no doubt about it. But thanks very much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Leave me a comment as well, guys. Let me know how this one's going down with you, because I like to know who I'm doing these readings for. It always helps, and it helps our spirit guides, yours and mine, kind of get closer and in touch, so I can keep on producing better readings for you and for me and for everyone I read for. If you'd like a private reading, drop me a message, 35and83@gmail.com. That is 35and83@gmail.com. The email address is down there. And, you know, have a great new moon when it comes, okay? It's not going to be an Aries this time, but that was the energy of the new moon card that we drew. So that is the energy of the moment. That's where it's going. Have a fantastic time ahead, my friends. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Peace.